I'm alone. It's dark, but I don't have time for the light. I'm calling out my daughter's name frantically and searching for her, but I'm terrified that I'm going to find her. The blood is rushing into my head and my breathing is shallow. She's not here. She's not here. She's not here. I think I'm going to be sick. So I go to our living room and I sit down. My hands start to shake as the events of the last 30 minutes start to come into focus. At 18, Ashley can be careless with her communication with me. Now, I know she's an adult, but I also know that she struggles with her depression and her self-care. After what happened last week, she promised me that she would answer my phone. She knows how terrified I am, and she knows how close we were to losing her. Seizing, unconscious, on the cold floor for hours, alone. I tried calling her, and she didn't answer. Over and over again, she didn't answer. And that familiar dread and terror took over. And honestly, I don't even remember making a decision. I just left work without telling anybody, and I flew across town, and I broke into her apartment, and I searched. And now I'm here, and she isn't. Where is she? I honestly don't know how long I sat there, disconnected from my body and grasping at my thoughts, until the phone startled me back. It was Ashley. She had picked up a shift from work. She doesn't work on Thursdays. It's Thursday. She picked up a shift from work. After a long conversation of what just happened, a small voice on the other end says, "Mom, I'm worried about you." And I respond, "Yeah, honey, I'm worried about me too." That was 8 years ago. As a caregiver of someone with mental health issues, it was really hard for me to admit and accept that I needed help. There are so many complicated emotions here. For me, accepting that I needed help seemed impossible. I had spent all of my life, well, all of her life, protecting her and making sure she was safe. How could I possibly spend time on me? It seemed utterly selfish. It took quite a bit of time, but eventually I understood the guilt and the fear behind it. What if something happened to her while I was spending time on me? Not only would I not forgive myself, I wouldn't survive it. The overwhelm of caring for someone who's struggling makes it hard to even consider doing basic medical care, let alone doing general wellness or asking for support. When I did seek support from family and friends, I was met with good intentions, tinged with a little misunderstanding as well as lack of empathy. Now, I don't blame them. How could they possibly understand? What we were living was ugly and messy. And you know what? We as humans don't do ugly and messy. We don't do things that we don't understand well. When Ashley was young, she required an organ transplant and almost died. When we were managing her medical health, we were surrounded by our entire community. We had Facebook posts and fundraisers, and people showed up. How can we help? What do you need? How is she doing? How are you doing? They were everywhere. We had everything that we needed in order to support us. But now that it was trauma and depression and suicidality that was threatening us, our community was nowhere to be found. Sometimes it was replaced by judgment and shame. So when I look back on Ashley's medical emergencies, I often think about Ronald McDonald House. That was a place that we lived for months, and it was not only a home, but a community. Sometimes I joke about it, it's a community that no one wants to be part of, but that will always be forever a part of. And really, it's a safe space when things are terrible. And it is a community where you always feel welcome, and you don't have to, people know when you're there what you need without even asking. And we celebrate wins, even if it's like, oh, you had time to take a shower today. And we weep when there are setbacks, even when the setbacks are too devastating to even think about. So where is the community now? I knew that I needed to draw from that power of understanding in order to survive this. And it took a while for me to find it. First I found one mom, and then two, and then three, and eventually we found connection around similar things that we were going through, and then we started to talk, and eventually we started to heal. And you know what? 8 years later, we still talk and heal. Now, I'm not a family peer support specialist, not a certified one or someone who gets paid to do that, but I am someone who believes in the power of family peer support specialists. When we started family peer support here at CSA, it was really important to me that we incorporated the tenets of what I learned at both the Ronald McDonald House as well as what I learned in my own family experiences. I wanted peer support to have things like feeling seen and not judged, building community and not feeling alone, celebrating the wins, no matter how big or small, and belonging. Because mental illness is so isolating. And it's not just isolating for the people who are experiencing the symptoms. It's isolating for the people who love them. Today, our family peer support specialists help caregivers and parents find the help that they need. We have an amazing certified peer support specialist, Michelle, who works with parents and families and caregivers, who uses her own personal experience to help people feel more empowered and less alone. The Iowa Medicaid program is the only insurance company that pays for this service right now, but we really would like to see our family peer community grow because it's such a powerful and important service. Through the support and donations of the people around us, we would like to extend this service to other families who need it. Maybe people like you and someone you know and love. Thank you.